who's back? Guess 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 who's back?
Hello, fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. This is your monthly reading for June 2017. We're going to go ahead and get started. So it's one tarot card for each week of the month, and then we'll get into some of the some extra guidance toward the end, and I'll explain those as we go. So first week in June, and I think we're kind of coming out of it right now. We have the Seven of Forests. This is gonna, your first week in June is gonna be a pretty busy time. This is a time for gathering all the resources you need. This would be research. And as I'm looking at the way the rest of the month is going to sort of pan out, this is really going to be kind of the heaviest period. And since we're already kind of at the fourth, it seems like you're kind of moving through it. So what you need to know as far as reassurance goes is that these first 2 weeks might be the busiest, and then things calm down significantly. So going into the second week, we have the Page of Seas. The second week is probably going to bring an important message for you from a loved one, maybe someone who has been out of touch or someone who's from your past. But this feels like a message that it has some distance on it. So that's really why I get more of, it could be distance in terms of time or space. So that could be someone from far away or someone from your past. Okay. Moving into the third week, we have the Queen of Skies. This is where things really start to calm down quite a bit for you, which is really going to be nice because it's the solstice around the third week. And pay attention to your dreams and intuition. Even though the skies is like the swords, the suit of swords in traditional tarot, this barn owl, she has a lot of really beautiful, glowing, like luminescent, like moon energy. Okay, so this is some of those hidden things coming up to the surface, and this actually might be what do you call it? Connected. This might actually be connected to whatever this message is. This message that comes in from far away. That maybe someone who it just feels like truths coming back up to the surface that you'll start to be grappling with or beginning to form a plan about how to respond to in the third week. And then, hooray, the fourth week, as we round out the month of June, we have the Five of Forests, and this is about really kicking back, having some fun, being rascally raccoons with all of your fun friends, and, not getting into trouble, but, let your hair down. You will have been dealing with some stuff for the majority of the month of June. It all feels pretty good, but yeah, let yourself have some time to just plain old have some fun. Okay. Now, for the advice for the month, I'm just kind of going with the way that they brought these out. So I've got two archetype cards. The first archetype card will be some of the external archetypal personalities that you might be that might be that you might be encountering external to you. So, yeah, this is going to be kind of a tough one. We have the bully and the bully archetype, and now obviously the shadow attribute is the one that we're the most familiar with about being really overbearing, maybe you're being, no, this is external. These are external energies. So this would be other people being overbearing toward you. And the reminder here is that they are operating from a place of fear. So if we are living kind of a heart-centered life, this means understanding that that's where they're coming from, having that empathy and compassion, and refraining from responding with the exact same kind of force in return. Now, the light attribute would be, really operating from that place of compassion and doing a little bit more than, okay, so when we encounter bullies, the point of detachment would be to be unbothered and to disengage. then, you know, sort of the lower vibe engagement would be to fight fire with fire and, you know, get into those win-lose, competitive, defensive communication cycles. The light attribute would be to really come from that heart-centered space and try to understand what that fear, that wound, that pain is that they are operating from, that's driving all of that really, you know, kind of tough action on their part, and then responding to them in that empathic way and going toward the unmet need that is driving their behavior. And so that is, you don't have to, certainly at the very least, you know, refraining from the defensive, competitive behavior and moving toward, at the very least, just plain old detachment. And then if you really want to, you know, be an overachiever, an heart-centered overachiever, you would actually try to show them some compassion and some empathy and, you know, communicate with them in a way that they might start to see ways that they could heal themselves. Okay. Now, internal archetypes. So this is the stuff that the archetypes that you would be dealing with, like within yourself. We have the seeker, and this is really cool. So the shadow aspect of this would be not being able to choose a path because you're always you like having so many interests that it's difficult to sort of buckle down and focus. And then the light attribute of this would be to really have that curiosity and the bravery and courage to seek out and pull on all those threads, to walk down those paths that seem to be beckoning you. Okay, so you know, and in some ways it's like the two light aspects here would be to find it within yourself to have the courage to seek out what might be the underlying pain so that maybe we can heal this bully a little bit. So you would go beyond not simply disengaging, but maybe helping them become a little bit more of a seeker and going toward and reconnecting with their own heart space. Okay. Now we have, and then our final two cards are, we get one flower and one crystal. So the crystal for this month is leopard skin jasper. And it says, I observe my surroundings and know I am divinely guided. And then the back of the card says, is some guidance for improving peripheral awareness, becoming an objective observer, increase the consciousness of reactions to others. Now that is really very specifically about, you know, that heart-centered engagement with a bully. Increase mental, physical, and emotional flexibility. Okay, so again, getting out of what might be our knee-jerk reactions. If someone's coming at us, well, by golly, we're just going to stand our ground and come right back at them. Okay, so getting out of maybe those habits and moving back into our heart center, and at the very least disengaging, having an internal monologue about, you know, trying to empathize with them and understand where they're coming from as the next level, and then even more heart-centered and more active would be to even attempt to engage them from that heart-centered space. So this leopard skin jasper is saying, you don't have to go all in with like engaging with them if empathic communication is not your strong suit just yet. But what you can do is, at the very least, take that moment to reflect and empathize what might be their unmet underlying needs that's driving their behavior. Okay, and then finally, our flower card for the month is bellflower, and the keyword is gratitude, with the quote, "Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow." And I feel like that's really echoing what that this message in a bottle Page of Seas card might be bringing next week, in the second week. Just taking that moment of reflection, and maybe the person who comes in from the past is someone who might have bullied you before, or just someone that you had a hard interaction or a hard relationship with, and this bellflower is just a nice little reminder to you to come back to gratitude and give thanks for whatever gifts and lessons that they are, that even those tough conflicts might be hiding within them. Okay, so that's it, fire signs, for your month of June Tarotscope reading, and I hope that you enjoyed it. See you next month.